We're going into the second book of Daniel, Daniel 2, Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Now, in the second year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuchadnezzar had dreams, and his spirit was so troubled that his sleep left him. I just want to add something here. When our sleep leaves us, it's because we are in sin. Anxiety in dreams, bad dreams, anxiety, all these things are manifestations of sin in our life. Situations we shouldn't be in, things we're doing we shouldn't be doing. Whenever there's unrest, sin is the reason, okay? Verse 2, chapter 2, verse 2. Then the king gave the command to call the magicians, the astrologers, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans to tell the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king. We'll stop here. Probably stop on every verse. So who does he call? The witches. I don't care what you call it, it's witchcraft. You know, soothsayers, magicians, sorcerers, witches. Not the place to get information. This is the occult, and we never go to the devil for information. Verse 3, and the king said to them, I have had a dream, and my spirit is what? Anxious to know the dream. The Chaldeans spoke to the king in Aramaic, O king, live forever, tell your servants the dream, and we will give the interpretation. The king answered and said to the Chaldeans, my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me and its interpretation, you shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made an ash heap. However, if you tell the dream and its interpretation, you shall receive from me gifts, rewards, and great honor. Therefore tell me the dream of its interpretation. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will give its interpretation. The king said, no. I know for certain that you would gain time, because you see that my decision is firm. If you do not make known the dream to me, there is only one decree for you. For you have agreed to speak lying and corrupt words before me till the time has changed. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I shall know that you can give me its interpretation. So again, he understands that if they're really what they say they are, they should already know the dream. As we will see, Daniel does know the dream. He goes to God and he gets the dream and the interpretation therein. We only get truth from God. We cannot get it anywhere else. So as we progress in this chapter, we will see that the darkness is denied because it lies. Ask someone who knows about the lying spirits. Oh, trust me, they're always trying to lie to me. The Chaldeans answered the king and said, there is not a man on earth who can tell the king's matter. Therefore no king, lord, or ruler has ever asked such a thing as this of any magician, witch, astrologer, witch, or Chaldean, witch. It is a difficult thing that the king requests, and there is no other who can tell it to the king except who? The gods, small G-O-D-S. So let's stop there. The gods, i.e. the demons. There are no other gods other than the Most High God. There is one God, and there is no other. So small g, rightly, the right punctuation, small g, because these are not gods, they're demons, whose dwelling is not with flesh, i.e. spirits. For this reason, the king was angry and furious, and gave the command to destroy all the wise men. Scratch that word, they're not wise, they're witches. All the witches of Babylon. So the decree went out, and they began killing the witches, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. Interesting choice. Verse 14, God reveals Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Then with counsel and wisdom, Daniel answered Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, who had gone out to kill the wise, again, strike the word wise, witches of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's companion, "Why is the decree from the king so urgent?" Then Arioch made the decision known to Daniel. So Daniel went in and asked the king to give him time, that he might tell the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house, made the decision known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they might seek mercy from the God of heaven, the only God, I add, concerning this secret, so that Daniel and his companions might not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever." Big G, big G-O-D. For wisdom and might are his, and he changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and raises up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers. You have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we have asked of you. For you have made known to us the king's demand. Daniel explains the dream, verse 24. Therefore Daniel went to Arioch, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise witches of Babylon. He went and said thus to him, "Do not destroy the witches of Babylon. Take me before the king, and I will tell the king its interpretation." Then Arioch quickly brought Daniel before the king and said thus to him, "I have found a man of the captives of Judah who will make known to the king the interpretation." The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, "Are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation?" Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, "The secret which the king has demanded, the wise men, the astrologers, the magicians, and the soothsayers cannot declare this to the king. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the latter days. Your dreams and the visions of your head upon your bed were these. As for you, O king, thoughts came to your mind while on your bed about what would come to pass after this, and he who reveals secrets has made known to you what will be. But as for me, the secret has not been revealed to me because I have more wisdom than anyone living, but for our sakes who made known the interpretation to the king, and that you may know the thoughts of your heart. You, O king, were watching, and behold, a great image, this great image whose splendor was excellent, stood before you, and its form was awesome. This image's head was of fine gold, its chests and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You watched while a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on his feet of iron and clay and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away so that no trace of them was found. And the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the dream. Now we will tell the interpretation before the king. You, O king, are a king of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field and the birds of the heavens, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold. But after you shall rise another kingdom inferior to yours, then another, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be as strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything, and like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and toes partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, yet the strength of the iron shall be in it. Just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay, and as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces and consume all their kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Inasmuch as you saw the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will come to pass after him. The dream is certain, and its interpretation is sure. Daniel and his friends promoted. Still in chapter 2, verse 46. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face prostrate before Daniel and commanded that they should present an offering and incense to him. The king answered Daniel and said, "Truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, since you could reveal this secret." Then the king promoted Daniel and gave him many great gifts, and he made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief administrator over all the witches of Babylon. I call them witches because they're not wise men, clearly. Also, Daniel petitioned the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon, but Daniel sat in the gate of the king. That's it. That is the end of chapter 2. So what do we see here? The witches cannot, the dark knowledge will not reveal what only God can reveal. Dark knowledge is not wisdom. This is why I don't call them wise men. They're not wise, they're witches. Dark knowledge should not be looked for or accepted as wisdom, because it is not. This is the ongoing premise of all of creation. God told Adam and Eve not to inquire of the tree of good and evil, of knowledge, because he knew that they would misuse it in their carnal ways of being. At that point, they would be carnal, thinking that knowledge is God, that they're God. Daniel knows he's not a God. And he says, this is not because I'm wise. It's because the God of heaven honors me. But it is not because I'm more wise than everyone else. It's because I'm more honored by God than anyone else. And these are the gifts of the true followers of Jesus Christ. That concludes chapter 2 of Daniel.